Hello, good to see you again.
To meet your colleagues and take part in that delegation, and I think we've extended an invite this year again to come and join us. We're here with a big delegation, including members of different political parties, really to get a first-hand situation of what is happening here on the ground. We are deeply, deeply concerned about some of the recent developments, the instability in the area. We have a great affinity with what the people in the area of Rojava have done. We believe there's been a real attempt to create a democratic, inclusive, tolerant society that brings together all the different people of Syria and to really create a democratic structure moving forward. That's the values of our organisation: democracy, tolerance, inclusiveness. And from the point of view of Unite the Union, we want to offer every support and assistance and solidarity we can. Well, I think most people believe the YPG, YPJ, SDF have done an unbelievable service to the whole of humanity in fighting ISIS, in trying to rid the world of that evil. And it's not just the combating of it, it's trying to create something different moving forward. What we're worried about is clearly the intense Turkish aggression. I think it's been a magnificent preparedness to compromise by the SDF to accept the buffer zone that has been proposed and I believe is now to come into operation. But nothing seems to satisfy Turkey. They seem to be threatening again and again to invade, just as they've done in Afrin, and it is, in our view, quite outrageous. And what we need is to build much more support among the international community. We would call on European governments, international community as a whole, to absolutely maximise pressure on Turkey to stop the threats, stop the aggression, withdraw from Afrin and stop basically threatening a genocide on the Kurdish people. As I understand it, the SDF is now calling for an international tribunal to deal with the situation. We would 100% support that. It needs to be dealt with properly, but given the situation and the post-war period and some of the difficulties, there clearly needs to be proper international support in order to build the structures that are necessary, but also the victims of those crimes and the witnesses of those crimes are here, and it seems quite appropriate that any processes take place here and that justice is then done accordingly. Well, look, we 100% support the UK government in its efforts to support, but we think they should do a lot more. Frankly, we have the impression sometimes that you've done all the fighting and then you've been abandoned, that there's not been the type of support there for reconstruction efforts that is necessary. But most importantly, as I've said before, we cannot stand by and simply say, oh, Turkey must be understood and its concerns must be understood and so on. What we're witnessing is blatant Turkish aggression. It needs to be stopped. In terms of the future going forward, that's for the Syrian people as a whole to decide, not for us from outside. But one thing is absolutely sure: if the SDF and the people within this area have played their role in defeating ISIS, and if they have paid with their blood in defeating ISIS, then they deserve a seat at the table in terms of defining what the future of this country will look like. And I think that's a wholly legitimate demand that we would 100% support.
Again.